Don't we like watching movies with thrill, suspense, and some action? Films such as Ocean's 8, Triple Frontier, The Italian Job, and the list goes on. Why don't we come out of the fiction world and have a look at some of the most fascinating thieves who went away with tons of money and jewelry in real life? Hey everybody, welcome back to Modern Luxury. Today, we're going to go over the top 5 most thrilling heists of all time. Who's responsible for the most shocking heist in history? What was the biggest amount ever stolen? This video will answer all these questions as we look into the real-life robberies that shocked the world. Let's dive into the world of heists. Here are the top 5 most thrilling heists of all time. Number 5. The Securitas Depot. The Securitas Depot robbery is the largest cash robbery in the history of the UK. Like all other robberies, the gang got surveillance by putting an inside man to work at the depot. It was the 21st of February, 2006, when the gang abducted the manager and his family and found their way inside the depot where they tied up 14 employees at gunpoint. A member of the gang was dressed as a policeman, and others were called by the names Stopwatch, Shorty, Hoodie, and Mr. Average. All of them were wearing ski masks. All members of the gang were equipped with shotguns, handguns, AK-47s, and a Scorpion submachine gun. Nobody was able to press the alarms, as the abducted family of the manager was surely in immense danger. The employees were forced to open the 17 cash cages and flooded the truck with banknotes. It took the robbers several hours to load $92.5 million in cash. The gang left behind £154 million, as they did not have enough means to transport the cash in the middle of the night. Staff members were locked in the empty cages as the robbers fled away from the scene. Soon the alarms were triggered and police reached the scene. After days of intense investigation, police arrested 36 suspects and about 8 of them were convicted. Only £17 million were recovered by the police. It was one of the scariest and biggest heists in the history of the UK. Number 4. The Antwerp Diamond Heist. It was the start of a calm weekend in Antwerp, Belgium in February 2003, when a group of thieves did the largest diamond heist in history. The Antwerp Diamond District was considered one of the safest places on Earth, with almost 10 layers of security that protected thousands of diamonds and jewelry items. The Italian thieves, most famously known as the School of Turin, conducted this massive heist in Belgium. Each of the gang members had a secret name. Speedy was the anxious member of the gang. The monster was a tall, muscular person responsible for carrying the money and weapons. The genius, who specialized in alarm system, and the king of keys, the key forger of the heist. Surprisingly, the group was led by a small diamond dealer known as Leonardo Notarbartolo, who frequently visited the diamond haven as a merchant and took photos of the security setup secretly. Leonardo was already responsible for several small robberies, but this was the biggest it could get for him. He was the mastermind of one of the biggest heists of the century. For the preparation of the heist, a full-size vault was made from the pictures taken by Leonardo. Every member of the heist was equipped with special skills needed to carry out the robbery with such efficiency. The School of Turin was able to bypass the cameras, infrared heat detectors, Doppler radar, magnetic field, a seismic sensor, a private security force, and a lock with 100 million possible combinations. Thrilling, isn't it? They used aluminum to bypass the magnetic field and hampered the sensor circuits. It took 2 hours for the 4 members of the gang to fill their bags with diamonds and jewelry worth more than $100 million. Even though Leonardo was caught by the police and sentenced to 10 years in prison, not a single stolen diamond was ever recovered. Number 3. Knightsbridge Security Deposit. The Knightsbridge Security Deposit, or may we call it the Italian work, was another massive robbery in the United Kingdom. The heist was conducted by Italian robber and playboy Valerio Visay, who was already wanted for 50 armed robberies in Italy before he moved to London in 1986. It was 1987 when the 2 robbers entered the Kingsbridge Safe Deposit Center as ordinary men who were willing to open a safe deposit box. The men were taken to the security vaults, where they took out their handguns and threatened the manager and security guards. After taking control of the safe deposit center, Valerio called for backup. The place was soon filled with his guys and complete control was taken over. The gang hung a temporary closed sign outside the main door and started emptying the boxes. Seems like a movie, right? Lucky for Valerio that no one dared alert the police during the heist. He and his gang members broke as many safe deposit boxes as they could. After successfully robbing about $200 million in the form of cash, jewelry, and other valuables, Valerio fled to Latin America. Police found his fingerprints at the crime scene, and many of his accomplices were soon arrested. While he was enjoying some time stealing $200 million, he returned to England to pick up his Ferrari, but was captured by the police. Valerio Visay was sentenced to 22 years behind bars. Number 2. The Darrell Salam Bank. It is one of the most mysterious heists in history. Darrell Salam is a private financial institution in Baghdad, the capital of Iraq. The country was already struggling in war since 2003, and this financial drawback shocked the nation. Here's an interesting part about the heist. The robbery was carried out by the 2 guards of the bank. Who would have thought of that? The protectors of the money would actually rob it? It was surely an astonishing heist, but very little is known about it. The Iraqi bank was keeping money in American dollars, which shined in the eyes of the robbers. The whole master plan was made by 2 guards, who knew almost everything about the security setup. Well, who would know better? The Interior Minister of Iraq stated that there were 3 men involved in the heist. However, the officials zipped their mouths tight, and minimal details were let out. Hundreds of questions are still unanswered. Why was the bank keeping money in American dollars and not Iraqi dinars? How were there only 3 people to carry out such a big heist? Well, it's still a mystery how these guards stole a whopping $282 million back in 2007. Due to poor coverage, the incident did not get the hype it deserved, and the guards became millionaires overnight. It is the 2nd largest heist in history. And in the number 1 spot, the Central Bank of Iraq. What if I tell you that the biggest heist in history was carried out without any masks, weapons, or violence? Yes, you heard that right. On the 18th of March 2003, a day before the U.S. rained down missiles on Iraqi territory, Hussein, the son of Iraqi dictator Saddam Hussein, visited the Central Bank of Iraq with a single note and came out with 3 trucks loaded with $920 million. Wondering how it happened? It was a quarter of the country's currency reserves. It was 4 a.m. and Qusay handed the note signed by his father to the bank's supervisor. The staff followed the orders the dictator gave, although this was not his money. He tricked the bank into that the money was meant to be secured and that it was just a transfer of money due to the upcoming strikes by the United States of America. It took Qusay 5 hours to load such a large amount of money into his 3 trucks. Nobody was harmed in the heist, but only the mega mind of Saddam Hussein was used. His son went off with almost $1 billion, and no one was able to recover the money back. But Qusay was killed by the U.S. Armed Forces later. Who knew it would turn out as the biggest heist in history? These were the top 5 most thrilling heists of all time. Which one did you find more thrilling? Can you relate any of these heists with a movie? Let us know in the comments, and make sure you subscribe and turn on the notifications so you don't miss more videos of modern luxury, because you're one step closer to everything luxury. Don't forget to check out our video on the top most valuable NFL franchises. See you soon, as more luxurious content is coming your way. Thanks for watching. Take care.